that'll be given to you with the offence and failing to comply with the Public Space Protection Order under the Antisocial Behaviour Crime and Policing Act 2014, and my colleague's going to issue with the ticket.
Just to make it clear, I'm not protesting. Okay.
But you know you can't be here. I'll just point out the PSPO from there. I think you've seen that before.
I know there's a zone here, but I'm not protesting within the zone. I'm just silently praying.
You know, if the state can penalise you for the thoughts and the privacy of your mind, well, then there's nothing that they don't have the power to do. And that doesn't make me feel protected. That actually makes me feel very vulnerable.
Hello everyone, Alexa Lavoie reporting for Ribbon News, and it appears that in today's world, the simple act of thinking can be considered a crime. This reality was exemplified by the recent experience of Isabel Vaughan Spruce on October 18 in Birmingham, England. For several years, Isabel has been stationed outside abortion clinics, silently offering support to women who have opted for abortion. She prays for these women within the confines of her health. Isabel is no stranger to FT fine or arrest for her quiet presence outside these clinics. This situation is a result of the enforcement of a buffer zone law, officially known as Public Space Protection Orders, which became law in England and Wales in May 2023. This legislation prohibits individuals from approaching abortion clinics for the purpose of protesting or engaging in pro-life activities. The objective behind this law is to prevent potential intimidation and harassment that women may encounter when seeking an abortion. However, Isabel was standing alone outside the clinic, silently praying with her own mind without causing any disturbance to anyone. Let's delve into her encounter with the police officer who threatened her with a penalty notice for the act of praying.
Are you here as part of an organised protest?
No.
You're not. Are you part of a pro-life organisation or pro-choice organisation?
I am, but I'm not here in that capacity.
Okay. Are you protesting?
No.
Are you here to pray for the lives of unborn children?
It's a little bit leading, but no, I'm not.
Okay. Can your actions be carried out elsewhere?
I can pray elsewhere, but I want to pray here today.
Right. Why have you chosen the location here to stand?
You know this is an abortion centre that I'm standing outside of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware that there is a public space protection order in place here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you aware that you're breaching the public protection order?
I'm not, no.
Will you move from here to outside of the exclusion zone?
I don't believe I need to.
Okay. If not, why are you not willing to move outside of the exclusion zone?
Because I don't believe I need to. I believe I've got a right to be here.
Okay. Right. If you believe that you're present to protest in any form, obviously we're going to need to issue with a fixed penalty notice.
Sorry, can you explain that again?
Yes. If you believe that you're present to protect in any form.
If I believe what, sorry?
If you believe that you are present to protest.
No, I'm not here to protest, no.
Right. Well, you're in the PSPO, you're breaching it.
I'm in the zone,
yes,
but I'm not protesting.
Yeah, so you're going to be given a fixed penalty notice today. Okay. That'll be given to you with the offence and failing to comply with the Public Space Protection Order under the Antisocial Behaviour Crime and Policing Act 2014, and my colleague's going to issue with the ticket.
Just to make it clear, I'm not protesting. Okay.
But you know you can't be here. I'll just point out the PSPO from there. I think you've seen that before.
I know there's a zone here, but I'm not protesting within the zone. I'm just silently praying.
Western governments are making significant effort to suppress pro-life viewpoints. In Canada, abortion is legal throughout pregnancy, allowing for situations like a woman having an abortion at 38 weeks in Montreal earlier this year. Today, Isabelle shares her thoughts on the situation.
My name is Isabelle Vaughan-Spruce. I live in England, in the Midlands, which is in the centre of England, not far from Birmingham. So for about 20 years, I've been going outside abortion centres. I would be offering help and alternatives to women considering abortions. And I know dozens and dozens and dozens of women who've accepted our help and managed to continue their pregnancies because of the support we've offered them. Last year in September, a PSPO was brought in around the abortion centre in Birmingham. Now, this is a public space protection order. It's a local law. They used to be used for things like dog fouling and drunken disorderly behaviour. They're brought in by local councils and police forces working together. But they brought it in to create like a buffer zone around the abortion centre. And the wording of the buffer zone meant that protests couldn't happen there anymore, which I've never engaged in protests outside abortion centres anyway. So naturally, I believe that my silent prayer would be protected, seeing as that's a fundamental human right to be able to think what I want. And PSPOs don't act like restraining orders act. They don't ban people, they ban behaviour. So I went just to silently pray inside the buffer zone. Now, I did this last year and I was arrested, sadly.
What are you here for today?
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Okay. Why here of all places? I know you don't live nearby.
But this is an abortion centre.
Okay, that's why you're stood. Is you standing here part of the protest?
No, I'm not protesting.
Are you praying?
I might be praying in my head out loud.
So I'll ask you once more, will you voluntarily come with us now to the police station for me to ask you some questions about today and other days where there are allegations that you've broken public space protection?
If I've got a choice, then no.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the public spaces protection order.
But I went to trial, was completely acquitted. I was then re-arrested, and after 6 months of investigation, the charges were all dropped. Nothing was looked into anymore. Our Home Secretary sent a message to all the police forces in the country telling them that silent prayer is not a crime. So I thought that I'd established things and that I was allowed to silently pray now outside the abortion centre. So I went on the, I think it was the 18th of this month of October, to silently pray there. Had no intention of engaging with anyone at all. I wasn't manifesting my beliefs. I wasn't holding any placards or leaflets or anything like that. And the police officers came to tell me I wasn't supposed to be there and issue me with what they called a fixed penalty notice.
I want to hear your thought about the fact that the police didn't engage normally a conversation. They actually follow a step on the paper and they actually follow it. Same if your answer was not fitting on with their answer, they just continue asking you a question about the process, protesting. What is your thought to see like the police just showing up with the paper and just like reading it?
It's actually quite concerning in as much as I didn't really feel they were engaging with me at all. I felt I could have said anything and the questions would have continued exactly the same way and the results would have been exactly the same. Numerous times I made it clear to the police officer I was not protesting. I was simply silently praying in my head. That was it.
If you believe that you are present to protest...
No, I'm not here to protest, no.
Right.
And yet she proceeded to give me this fixed penalty notice for breaking the PSPO. I am allowed to be inside the zone. The zone doesn't ban people from being there. And since I was essentially doing nothing other than thinking, how could I possibly be banned from doing that in any zone in the country? But it didn't seem possible to engage in just a common sense conversation with the police officer. Like you say, it seemed to be there were set questions she was going to ask, and she was just going to ask these questions and give me this ticket at the end of it, no matter what happened and what I said to her.
How did you feel when they say that not only you were breaking the public space protection order, but to have an antisocial behavior?
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. And I have to say, I am getting quite concerned about how the police are behaving in this. It's becoming almost quite personal. It seems like they're on a mission to stop silent prayer near abortion centres rather than just carry out their job of, protecting our freedoms, enforcing, laws. If the state can penalise you for the thoughts and the privacy of your mind, well, then there's nothing that they don't have the power to do. And that doesn't make me feel protected. That actually makes me feel very vulnerable in a public space.
How do you feel that you should have the right to pray? I think it's the right that everybody have in life, the right to have their own path. And how do you feel to be a citizen to have less right than the people who take the other decision and be pro-choice and decide to get an abortion?
It does seem like it's particular discrimination against those who've got religious beliefs, since the PSPO, this buffer zone itself, mentions prayer as being one of these antisocial activities, as a form of protest. Firstly, I don't believe prayer is a form of protest, but to label somehow that as being antisocial, that seems very discriminatory against those of us who have religious beliefs. And particularly that it's being enforced, like I say, by those who we expect to be upholding the freedoms of our country. They're the ones trying to kind of force on us this silence. It's not like they're even saying, I can't give out leaflets or give posters or engage in conversations. I can't even think what I want to think in certain areas. How much more radical than that does it get? I personally find it very sad that they're trying to prevent me from doing what I've been doing for 20 years, which is supporting women who are in very difficult situations. And that's something that I would like to be able to continue doing. As I say, I know so many women that I've met over the years who felt pressured into having an abortion they didn't want, some of them being, coerced by family members, or sometimes it's just the pressure of their circumstances, maybe struggling financially, struggling with their accommodation, maybe just struggling with their other children that they've got. And we can help them, whether that's with childcare, with financial help, sometimes just with friendship, with private medical care, whatever it is they might need to continue their pregnancy. And to think that that's somehow antisocial or criminal to offer that help to women who are, as I say, in very difficult situations often, that's really sad. A lot of those people who are part of the work I do are themselves post-abortive, and they've joined the work that I do because they want to make sure that people don't feel pressured like they did, that women do have a real choice, which at the moment many, many women don't have. Many of them are opting for abortion simply because to them that is the only option, which doesn't make it a real choice at all. I believe that women should be able to choose life if that's what they want. No, just really grateful for you for highlighting this issue, and I'm just also very grateful for the amount of people who've supported me on this. I've had so many messages from people who maybe don't share the same perspective on the pro-life issue. Maybe they support abortion, but they say they do support my right to pray and other people's right to pray where they choose. And those people who say they're not religious, but yet they can see that this is a most basic freedom to be able to think what somebody wants where they want. And that is really encouraging to see, that people can see the bigger picture here.
And do you have you probably receive another penalty notice, and so you're probably going to court to challenge that again. What is the amount of dollars they give to you?
So at the moment, I've had a letter through the post to say that they're not continuing with the fixed penalty notice at the moment. It could, if they did decide to give a fixed penalty notice, I think it could be about £1,000 in English money, up to that. But I think initially it would be much less, but I think it depends on whether it escalates. So initially it would be a smaller amount, I believe, but I think it depends to a certain degree on what the council or the police force decide to enforce with a matter like this. As I say, I haven't actually been given the fine yet. I've just been given a letter.
Don't forget that if you want to support your best journalism, so us, you can do so at rebelnewsstore.com. So on this website, you can see all of our merch. You can use my code Alexa10 for having 10% off, and we deliver worldwide. So please go have a look and treat yourself.